Welcome to the show. Geek Insider presents Into the GeekVerse, the place to get an inside look at movies, comics, games, tech, and everything exciting going on in the GeekVerse. Join Matthew Harris and David King as they take a deeper look at the good, the bad, and the downright terrible things our GeekVerse has to offer. With live chat, geek news, special guests, and lots more. So sit back, relax, and join us for a peek into the GeekVerse.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you had a great week, and welcome back to episode 20 of Into the GeekVerse. Today, I'm going to be going over the famous movie Black Panther. Now, I know it's not a new movie, but as Wakanda Forever is coming out, I thought this recap would be amazing. Now, as you see, my co-host is not here with us today. Unfortunately, he is gone to attend a personal matter, but I'll certainly be here to entertain you all. I would like to thank our official sponsor, Colgate. More from them later. Now, Black Panther came out a long time ago in the midst of like one of the biggest reveals in Marvel Cinematic and great movie history. I can say thoroughly that me and Matthew, even though he's not here, loved those phases that we were going through and how everything was building up, especially with a little bit of the disappointing movements that we've been going towards. We've been having a lot of series, and some of the latest movies haven't really been up to what we wanted to see. But that's not why y'all are here. Y'all are here to talk about Black Panther. So Black Panther, I really, really enjoyed it. And there's many levels, and I also have many questions. But as far as Black Panther, he first came into the big screen in Captain America Civil War, but his first appearance was in comics was Fantastic Four number 52. As you see here on the left, this is one of the original Black Panthers from the comics, and then one of the newer Black Panthers from the comics, which I wanted to go ahead and provide that for y'all there so you could see a little bit of it. I personally haven't gotten the opportunity to read any of the Black Panther comics, just because when I got into comics and stuff, it was more past that time, and a lot of it was Batman and everything. But I certainly would be down if I could find some more time to read on them, because I watched some of his earlier appearances in the TV shows. Like when you got into like Avengers and a lot of the kids shows that were coming out, I saw him and it was amazing being able to understand his ability and everything, which was really, it wasn't stereotypical. It wasn't something that you saw that every other hero can do. Either money makes it or skill makes it, or this superpower that they were born with, got from radiation, super strength, speed, invisibility. It wasn't like one definitive thing. I don't know. It felt really unique. Of course, he gets enhanced abilities through eating that heart-shaped herb, and he becomes the Black Panther. But it was still, it very much quenched a thirst, especially at the time when you're running through a lot of the same superhero gigs that Marvel and DC are trying to push out and compete with each other. But moving further on, so there was a couple of things that I wanted to talk about, and this show may be a little bit shorter as I don't have somebody to ask my questions with and get their opinion and if they have any explanations for me. But if you're joining me live, make sure that you come and comment. I'll definitely post it on here, and I'll be able to talk about your answers to my questions or any questions that you have for yourself that I have an opinion on. We're happy to have you. Now, for those who don't know, Wakanda Forever is coming out this week, which why we decided to do a show for Black Panther this week. I did recently rewatched it. There was a couple of things that I thought was like a little bit off, but I enjoyed it where you have Claus, who steals the vibranium from Wakanda. He is involved with somebody he doesn't even know that's trying to get back into Wakanda, who is the main villain, Killmonger. You've got Black Panther, who's after the death of his father, is going back to be ranked king. It's really amazing to think about all the different places that they went in this movie. Between, you've got Wakanda, you got the US, you got all of the different things that I have read, I have seen, which we'll get into a little bit later about the new Hulu series that came out, kind of in preparation of Wakanda Forever coming out. It's not just their tribe and interacting with the other Marvel characters that we know. They address a lot, and if you're ever curious about how much of an impact that Black Panther had on the world and the communities that's within this world, you definitely need to check out the Hulu. It's 2020. It's not like 2020 the year. Black Panther in Search for Wakanda. It's really cool. They have a sneak peek at the end of Wakanda Forever, and check it out. I won't give you any spoilers or anything, but the whole episode that I've only gotten one out right now goes over how much of an impact that this had on the communities and the world for Black Panther. I will say they go over like clothing. They go over a lot of stuff that I unfortunately can't speak to, but I'm really happy to hear that not only the actor Chadwick Boseman had an impact on the world, but the movie and how they used the accurate culture to be able to push out to the big screen, as I think they mentioned in the Hulu series, it was the first movie to be so diverse in a really big movie picture that had that big of a budget. Back to more of the beginning of the movie, when we see he goes and gets this girl that he really likes because he's going to be crowned king. They go over this ritual that they have of like combat before he actually becomes king. He has to strip the powers from him, and then if he wins, when he does, because everybody says they don't want to face him other than is the Jabani tribe. My apologies if I mispronounced it. Their leader comes up, they challenge him, as our boy Black Panther does defeat him in a way that makes us really understand how he's the king of Wakanda, or will be, why he deserves to be. He's not brutal or dictator. He's caring. He's really skilled with fighting. He's not just looking out for the one tribe that he has within Wakanda. He's looking out for all of them. And that's really reinforced when you see each of the tribes say, no, we don't want to challenge him. We are okay with him being the king. Obviously speaking a lot about the merits that T'Challa has. So after that, you get more into the action, which, by the way, the action in this movie is phenomenal. Between getting the budget of Marvel and the vision of the directors, the story, the plot that was put in, they cover a lot, but it doesn't ever feel like they put something in there and then didn't explain it too much, which sadly happens a lot with movies. One of the most interesting things later on, you end up getting his interaction when Claus steals vibranium, and he's going to do a deal. And later when Black Panther and his guards, wish I had the correct name off the top of my head, was in where the deal was supposed to be broke, they then saw a CIA agent and that they were trying to deal with and trying to break. This really, really badass fight scene entails with it. And at the end of all of this, later the CIA agent gets fatally injured, like he's gonna die, and Black Panther has the decision on whether he's gonna pursue Claus, who stole like vibranium, and they're really on top of him because it's a disrespect to their culture, and they're trying not to let the world know that they've got this vibranium, and they're actually a really really developed society. And so he decides not to, and he decides to save this guy who has a mutual respect with Black Panther, although he's still giving CIA vibes on like, you think you're in control, but it's actually us, we're the CIA, we're in control. And it's really funny because this is one of the first times in movies that you see the CIA and you're like, you're not in control. Like, it's obviously Black Panther, Wakanda, like they're so advanced that they control everything. But after that happens, he decides to take him to Wakanda so that he could get healed, which obviously is really controversial with everybody in Wakanda because you're letting an American in, and outside of America, everybody views America like distrusting. It's CIA, like nobody's supposed to be allowed in here and everything. But this once again speaks to the character of Black Panther, T'Challa. So when that's happening, you have the storyline of the guy at the beginning, Killmonger. As a child, he grew up, he became CIA, and we get some of that information from the CIA guy as he's healing. And he ends up betraying Klaus, and he kills Klaus, and he goes to Wakanda. He enters in, they're like, he explains that he was the son of somebody that the previous Black Panther killed. He revealed his lip where there's this glowing blue that indicates like he's genetically genetically related to an ancestor, or it's really his father. It's not that long ago. And then, they show further proof, and he wants to have the right of ritual combat with Black Panther T'Challa. And of course, he's a very prideful king, and he doesn't want his rituals or anything. Like, he wants to uphold everything as it's supposed to be, as well as he hasn't really, we haven't seen anybody him go against that he couldn't take on. So he accepts it. During this fight scene that we get during the ritual combat, we don't see all of the tribes, as Killmonger says he doesn't need a bunch of people there to beat Black Panther. So the fight happens. It's an amazing fight, and we don't see Killmonger absolutely destroy Black Panther. We see some really clever moves from T'Challa, or I really shouldn't say Black Panther, because he had to drink the juice again to remove his powers. So whenever and I'll pause right there for just a second, and I'll let everybody know that this is a very, very, very brief recap of Black Panther. And a lot of the points I'm talking about is how much that I like it. And I could go on a lot more. So my apologies if I forgot anything that you really enjoy. Make sure to post it in the comments and let us know. We'd love to see that. But back to where we are in the story. After Killmonger does defeat T'Challa, it's by either I think it's surrendering or by death, and he ends up throwing T'Challa off of the waterfall cliff, which seems to be as far away down that he's presumably dead. The whole tribes, everybody's freaking out because this outsider who is Wakandan, but like we've never seen him before, is coming in. He's taking control of everything. He's gonna change. So the mother and the sister and his, like, the story wants you to believe his girlfriend ends up going. They're not gonna follow along with the new king, Killmonger. And so they go to get help from the lead woman who is used to protecting the king and everything. That's part of a certain like warrior tribe and everything, who's like the most elite warriors. And they really are. We really get an understanding of how badass these, I want to say, like, bodyguards are. But she says no. The lead of, she says, my loyalty is to the throne, and no matter who sits on it. So they leave her behind. They go and they steal one heart-shaped herb as you watch them go down to a flower and they pick one out. This is very important because Killmonger, after winning, he gets to go through where they cover him in sand and everything. He goes through a spiritual adventure, like with his father, kind of getting more of his history. and they feed him the heart-shaped herb. He wakes up and he's just saying, burn all of it, all of the heart-shaped herb. Nobody else gets to have this power but me. So that's where it's important. They steal just one of them. They then take it and they're trying to figure out who can defeat this person. They discover, or they decide that they want to go to the Jabani tribe. And when they go to the Jabani tribe, which is the tribe that challenged T'Challa earlier, but didn't win. Once they get there, they discover that T'Challa is actually like a comatose in snow. So when they discover that, they were originally going to give the heart-shaped herb to the leader of that tribe, and he says a life for a life, and give the heart-shaped herb to him. T'Challa's back, and since he's went through that, he's back as Black Panther, and they leave. Now he's heading back to go against Killmonger, who has officially started a process of getting Wakanda out there in the world, all the weapons and stuff. He wants to get it out to all of the people that are like him to be able to rise up from their oppressors, as he says. Black Panther comes in, and you start seeing, Wakandans are fighting each other between these tribes and everything. And, Black Panther comes in. He is kicking some serious butt. We're seeing him come back in this whole new ferocity, like not pure animal where you're like, he's losing who he is. He's very much in control, but he's very powerful. He challenges Killmonger. They go down into the vibranium mines. It disrupts his suit. Black Panther stabs Killmonger, and Killmonger says that he would rather die moving forward a warrior's death. Black Panther takes him to see the sunset, as it was mentioned earlier in the movie. And that's right after that, T'Challa decides to open up to the world and the communities of the world for Wakanda to use the vibranium for good and helping civilizations outside of Wakanda. At the end credit scene, you see the main thing that I'd point out, other than T'Challa was at world meeting, releasing everything, but his sister Shuri was helping the Winter Soldier. So there's a very brief recap there. And I'll take a break here just for a second, guys. Like I said, I do want to thank our official sponsor, Colgate, and they have a little bit to share with y'all.
Hey everyone, it's a known fact that when brushing, most people miss up to 40% of their teeth. But thankfully, the Hum by Colgate has you covered. Hum by Colgate is a smart toothbrush and app combination that will give you and the kids sparkling smiles and more of them. Colgate is the official sponsor of Into the GeekVerse, and you can get into the rhythm of better brushing by heading over to shop.colgate.com. As an official insider, you can use discount code GEEK20 and get 20% off the Hum by Colgate. That's shop.colgate.com and discount code GEEK20.
Alrighty, I hope you enjoyed that word from our sponsor. Now, there was a little bit that I would want to share with y'all, and if you're listening on the podcast, if you do come in and subscribe to our YouTube to watch our videos, we do put images out here so that you'd be able to see. As earlier, I was talking about the comic book Black Panther. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, I do apologize for any technical difficulties that we've experienced there. I am back, and I am glad if you are still hanging out around here. So, where we were just talking about was we were talking about Killmonger, which I wanted to go ahead and show you. We've got the trained operator Killmonger on the left. We've got the warrior. He's still a trained operator, but you give more of a warrior vibe in this Killmonger. And then on the right, we get Killmonger after he dons the Black Panther suit and has the heart-shaped herb. Now, I hope this does give you some idea, and I did want to call out, it was some really cool hair changes throughout the show. I did appreciate that. Sometimes when you do it, it kind of loses, and it's not that great and everything, but this time it really worked out. One of the things that I was very curious about leading into the Wakanda Forever, and I have some questions. Hopefully, somebody can answer them, as I don't have a co-host to bounce them off of. So, in Black Panther, when Killmonger orders them to burn all of the heart-shaped herbs and then steals one of them for Black Panther, how are we going to be getting another Black Panther in Wakanda Forever? It is shown in the trailers, and there's a couple of different ideas that I've had running. I'm sure that there's more. I'm just not quite sure how they're going to apply this logic into it. Now, one is Shuri's in a tech suit. It seems like a female Black Panther. And I could totally understand this, as she's definitely going to be in the movie. She does seem like she plays a major part. And you could see she is the lead technology person for all of Wakanda. So that, I think, would be a possibility. Another one would be if T'Challa died, that they extracted it from his body to be able to get the powers again, because keep in mind that there's no heart-shaped herbs. But I feel like they're going to stay away from this, as it's a little bit dishonorable, and their culture doesn't seem like they would really do that. The last one is did they find a way to grow more? But the whole emphasis in the first movie was they're burning it all and they won't have a way to make more. So I don't know. You guys tell me what your thought process is and how we're going to be getting a new Black Panther in Wakanda Forever. Second question that I have is how come the Jabari tribe is all covered in snow and is really high, but when we see the Wakanda, pretty much any time that we see Wakanda and all their tribes other than the Jabani, it's low terrain. You could see very far, kind of like a safari, and it seems like it's a very hot environment. But then in the same space in Wakanda, there's supposed to be a tribe called the Jabani that's up in the mountains and it's full of snow. I'm wondering geologically how that works. I'm sure people could explain it, and maybe Wakanda is bigger than I thought, but we still didn't see any mountains all the way up to be able to be in the high altitude for getting the snow and stuff at the same time that we're getting that heat, or at least what it appears to be in Wakanda that we're used to seeing, where the basic city is and everything. So another question for you to be able to think about it. Now, Black Panther's what they want you to believe girlfriend. I didn't see her in any of the trailers. I'm wondering if she's going to be coming back, because she did play a strong role in the first one. But now that he's gone, is she going to take a side step back, or is she still going to be a very important part of the story? Or, as I saw the trailer, I'm pretty sure between the first trailer, where you have the Iron Heart cut out of the steel and it falls, and the second trailer where we see this man-made suit flying up that kind of mimics one of the original Iron Man suits, that we're going to be getting Ironheart, which is a female person playing it. Is Black Panther's girlfriend going to hand make that and become Ironheart? I don't know. Once again, you tell me. I'm throwing out all these questions, things that I'm thinking that will get our theories going before getting to see the new Wakanda Forever trailer. Now, of course, with those questions aside, I could not forget to mention that how incredibly sad it is that we lost Chadwick Boseman from this earth so soon. I am wearing white, as if y'all did not know, there is a big movement, if you're going to be seeing Wakanda Forever, to go wearing white in support of his battle with cancer that he lost, as well as I believe other people were saying other things. I'm definitely all about that, and I'll be doing it when I see it in my local theater on the 10th. And I'm watching like 9 p.m. like right there. So if you want to show your support, make sure y'all wear white to the opening of Wakanda Forever if you go to see it. Now, as I mentioned, if y'all did not know, Chadwick Boseman died of, I believe it's colon cancer. Now, this was, I think, a year after Avengers Endgame released, but he couldn't do a Black Panther 2. Obviously, we're seeing that right now. Years later, he did show up a little bit in the What If series for Marvel, if you want to catch that. With the animated and stuff, I was hesitant, but I did end up seeing it, and it made more sense leading into like Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, and we also have what also kind of tangles in there, Spider-Man: Homecoming. Now, with Chadwick Boseman, he decided to keep his cancer from everyone but the closest people to him. Even the actors who were playing with him didn't know. Interviews that he did, people didn't know. And for the most part that I know of, it was already too late. He passed, and then the world really got to understand about his colon cancer. So it is sad that we won't be having him in Black Panther 2. I am still really excited for it, and it looks like they pay an amazing tribute to him in it. Now, next week, guys, we will be going over the Black Panther 2 Wakanda Forever. We're going to make sure both me and Matthew catch it, and then we get to tell you our review. So, guys, if you are not going to be watching that in the opening weekend, next week's episode is going to contain a lot of spoilers. But, as always, if you subscribe and hit that bell, you'll be notified on all of our content so that you don't miss any, and you can always revisit it later. We did mention a little bit before about Hulu's new series, the 20/20 presents Black Panther in Search for Wakanda. Now, guys, if you go check this out, it's about 45 minutes long. It is on Hulu, and they have an exclusive sneak peek to the new Wakanda Forever at the end of the show. For the first episode, they do have more episodes to come out. Also, don't just skip to the end. Actually go watch it as they explain what an amazing impact that the first Black Panther had, and the changes, like the community, the support, like it is amazing. And I learned so much from watching that. So it's definitely worth the time to do it. Guys, if you're still with me this far, I do really want to thank you for joining us for Into the GeekVerse. I know today is a shorter episode, as unfortunately my co-host could not make it, but tune in next week that we will be going over Wakanda Forever and our opinion of it and talking about the different aspects of the movie. We're really excited to show with it, guys. With that being said, thank you for tuning in, and y'all have a wonderful week.
Oh, that does it for this episode of Into the Geekverse. If you enjoy our content, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. And if you want to join us live, hit that bell so you never miss a show. Want to catch us on the go? Listen to our podcast on every major platform, but you can catch the real fun on YouTube. Be sure to visit geekinsider.com for tons of great geek content and advertising opportunities. And if you want to stay up to date on all things geeky, sign up for our newsletter. We'll see you next Sunday at 9 p.m. Central. And if you're not here, we might have to revoke your geek card. Have a great week, everyone.